Welcome to Atlantean Astrology. Here we dive beyond the ordinary and unveil the secrets that lie within the cosmos. This channel is a portal to the unknown, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding to guide you on a journey through the stars and beyond. Join us as we open the mind's eye to the infinite, exploring the mysteries of the universe and the eternal truths that shape our lives. Embrace the adventure, unlock hidden knowledge, and discover what the universe has waiting for you. In the boundless sea of light that was the divine source, all knowledge, truth, and love flowed without limit or barrier. In that perfect origin, there was no shadow, no division, no suffering, only the pure harmony of unity. Yet, as creation unfolded and souls emerged from this oneness, a fracture occurred. This fracture was ignorance, a forgetting of the soul's divine heritage and its eternal connection to the source. And from this ignorance, like shadows cast by a hidden sun, came error. The Gospel of Truth teaches that error is not merely a mistake or a moral failing. It is an illusion, a false reality, woven by the mind that has lost sight of its true nature. Error is the soul's attempt to make sense of a fractured world, to cling to transient shapes and images in place of the divine essence it has forgotten. It is ignorance in motion, a shadow cast by the soul's inability to see the truth of its origin. Imagine the soul, lost in a vast, dimly lit hall of mirrors. Each reflection it sees offers a distorted image, a half-truth that draws it further into a maze of illusion. The soul, believing each mirror holds a part of itself, becomes entangled in these reflections, mistaking the shadows for reality. This hall of mirrors is the world of error, a world where each soul, disconnected from its source, stumbles through a labyrinth of false perceptions and illusions. The Gospel of Truth teaches that all suffering, fear, and desire arise from this world of error. The mind, trapped in ignorance, clings to these illusions, constructing identities, attachments, and desires that hold no substance. The soul in error builds a life around these illusions, believing they will bring it happiness and fulfillment. Yet each time it grasps one, it finds only emptiness, and so it moves to the next illusion, and the next, endlessly searching, endlessly unsatisfied. Error is a seductive force, captivating the mind with promises of fulfillment and security. In this world of shadows, people chase wealth, power, and pleasure, thinking these things will complete them. They build their lives around the illusions of fame, beauty, and control, unaware that these are but reflections on the surface of a deeper, hidden reality. The Gospel of Truth tells us that this error is the true source of suffering, not because of a divine judgment or punishment, but because the soul is bound to illusions that cannot fulfill its deepest longing for unity and truth. This cycle of suffering, driven by error, becomes an endless chain that binds humanity to the material world. Each illusion leads to the next, and with each step, the soul sinks deeper into the world of form, further from the light of truth. It is as if the soul has fallen asleep in a beautiful dream, unaware that the dream is unreal. The longer it remains in error, the more it forgets the truth, and the more tightly it clings to the illusions of the material world. The Gospel of Truth describes error as a kind of forgetfulness, a veil over the mind that obscures the light of the divine. In this forgetfulness, the soul loses sight of its true nature, identifying instead with its fleeting thoughts, emotions, and desires. It believes itself to be a body, a name, a collection of roles and titles, all of which are as transient as the passing seasons. This identification with the ephemeral is the root of error, the source of all suffering. But what if the soul could remember? What if it could pierce through the veil of error and see beyond the illusions that hold it captive? The Gospel of Truth teaches that the only way to escape the chains of error is through Gnosis, direct knowledge of the divine. This gnosis is not intellectual understanding, but a deep, inner recognition that dissolves the illusions of the mind and reveals the truth of the soul's divine origin. With gnosis, the hall of mirrors fades away, and the soul stands in the pure light of the divine, free from the shadows of error. When this knowledge dawns, the soul sees clearly for the first time. It realizes that the things it once clung to were but passing shadows, empty forms that held no substance. The wealth, power, and pleasure it pursued dissolve like mist in the morning sun, leaving behind only the infinite presence of the divine. In this light, error loses its power, for the soul no longer mistakes the transient for the eternal. The Gospel of Truth speaks of Jesus as the revealer, the one who comes to awaken souls from the dream of error. His role is not to condemn or judge, but to shine the light of truth into the darkness of ignorance. He is the Word, the bridge between the unknowable divine and the world of illusion. Through his teachings, he lifts the veil of error, inviting each soul to see beyond the illusions of the material world and remember its true nature. In this narrative, Jesus is not simply a figure of worship, but a guide who leads the soul back to itself. He reveals that the suffering caused by error is not a punishment, but a symptom of separation from the source. By illuminating the path of Gnosis, he offers the soul a way out of the maze of illusions and back into the unity of the divine. Imagine, then, the soul as a bird that has been trapped in a cage, unaware that its prison is made of thin bars that it could break with a single thought. In its ignorance, it believes the cage to be the whole of reality, and so it stays, moving from perch to perch, hoping to find freedom within the confines of its prison. But when the light of Gnosis dawns, the bird sees the bars for what they are, illusions that cannot hold it. With a single beat of its wings, it breaks free, soaring into the boundless sky of truth. This is the liberation offered by the Gospel of Truth. It is not a freedom granted by an external power, but a release from the chains of error that the soul has bound itself with. The journey from error to truth is a return, a homecoming to the divine source from which the soul came. In this journey, the soul does not gain something new, but remembers what it has always been. A spark of the divine light, free, whole, and eternal. The Gospel of Truth calls each of us to undertake this journey, to look beyond the illusions of the material world and seek the truth within. It tells us that error, with all its seductive promises, is nothing more than a shadow that vanishes in the light of knowledge. The soul's task is not to conquer or accumulate, but to awaken, to remember its true nature, and to return to the unity of the divine. As we step onto this path, we are invited to leave behind the attachments that bind us, to let go of the illusions that we have mistaken for reality. The wealth, the fame, the power, all these are but passing shadows, empty forms that cannot fill the soul. In the light of Gnosis, we see that our true wealth is within, that our power lies in our connection to the divine, and that our purpose is to live in harmony with this truth. The Gospel of Truth offers us a vision of life, freed from the chains of error. It invites us to see the world not as a prison, but as a reflection of the divine light. In this vision, suffering is replaced by peace, ignorance by understanding, and separation by unity. We are no longer bound by the illusions of the material world, for we see through them to the truth beyond. This is the message of the Gospel of Truth, that error is a shadow cast by ignorance, and that knowledge, the light of Gnosis, dispels this shadow, revealing the divine essence within. In this journey from error to truth, from illusion to reality, we find not only ourselves, but the boundless love of the divine. This is our path, our purpose, and our highest calling, to awaken, to remember, and to return to the light from which we came.